No, no, it's not. But it's still pretty good. Hey, what's up, guys? Nick from the Lost River Drive-In here, and tonight I am going to be talking to you guys about Talk to Me, A24's latest horror effort. This comes out of Australia, I believe the Adelaide Film Festival, if I'm not mistaken. It made some waves in Australia, got a nationwide release here in the States, and it's doing pretty well at the box office. Got a lot of people talking about it, so I told myself, hey, I'm going to go do a double feature today. I'm going to see this and the Meg 2. And I've got some thoughts on Talk to Me. But basically, the plot of the movie is essentially a girl named Mia and her group of friends have a mutual friend or just somebody they know in school that is in possession of a hand that they say is either, belong to a psychic that could talk to the dead or a Satanist, doesn't really matter. But they say it's a severed hand that is, embalmed, covered in a ceramic outer layer. And the idea is that you light a candle, you grab the hand, you say, talk to me, you'll start to see things, and once you see something, you say, I let you in, and then it'll take you over. But the rule is only allow it to go no longer than 90 seconds, because if you go longer than 90 seconds, they're not going to want to leave your body, and it's going to drive you insane, and all this stuff, and yada yada. That's basically the plot of Talk to Me. So first and foremost, I gotta say, I know that this movie was made by two YouTubers, and it is professionally shot. The movie looks good. I was at multiple points like, really? This was made by two YouTubers? Like, this is kind of wild. This is actually pretty good. Looks good. So they know how to direct. It was a good job. The acting across the board is really good. Mia is really good. Jade is really good. Daniel is really good. The core group here, Haley, she's a bitch, but she's good too. Everybody is really, really good in this movie. You end up really either liking them or hating them for the reasons that they want you to like them or hate them. So I really like the performances in this movie. But I gotta say, Riley, really, really dug the kid Riley. And again, I'm not gonna get into spoilers with this movie, but I really liked Riley as well. And the mom steals the show. She's hilarious. She's got this whole bit about trying to get her daughter to admit that there's gonna be a party at the house while she's gone. And it is hilarious. Like, in a movie that doesn't have a lot of levity, she provided much needed levity, and it was funny as hell. She was great. Horror movie mom of the year so far? I think so. So that was all really, really good. I think the premise is very easy to understand. A24 sometimes gets criticism from people because they think, a lot of people say, well, their movies are too highbrow. Their movies are too elevated horror for me. General audiences might not get it. No, this is very straightforward. There is some symbolism and metaphor, like a few points here and there, but most of this movie is straightforward. Like, what it looks like it is, it is. And you either like it or you don't. But it's not a movie that's trying to shroud itself in anything and try to disguise itself as being something that it's not. So I would say this is probably their most accessible horror movie that I have personally seen. This and probably X. The makeup effects and the gore effects in this movie are really good, especially the makeup effects when people are being possessed by these spirits or demons, whatever you want to call them. They're really good. They change a lot of things about themselves, and like that's why when there's a moment early on where they're wondering, some of the kids are wondering if this is bullshit or not. I'm like, well, if you watch one of these videos, you can clearly tell this person has changed physically. Like, how could you? And you were there, you saw it. Like, how could you think that it's not legitimate? So, makeup effects were really good. I've heard a lot of people say that this movie's terrifying and it's one of the scariest movies they've seen in a long time. Just no. I mean, you'd have to have a really, really low bar for scares if that was the case. And I mean, if you do, more power to you, because like nothing scares me anymore. I'm honestly getting pissed off about it. But there was an effective scene or two in this movie. There's two scenes in this movie that I think are particularly effective. And I'm just going to say a scene with Riley near the in the first act of the movie literally had me wincing. Like, literally had me wincing in the theater. And I don't do that much. And then there's a scene in Mia's bedroom where you hear singing and something in the dark. And that was kind of creepy. But aside from that, it is very much like possession, spooky ghost. Like, it either freaks you the hell out or it doesn't. But it's handled well here. It is done really, really well. And there's this relationship with Mia and her dead mom that is actually like pretty intriguing and makes you think the end of the movie's really going to go one way that it doesn't. And you're hoping the entire time it doesn't go a certain way. And when when things finally come to a head, it's very interesting. It definitely pulls the rug out from under you a little bit. And I was a fan of the ending. I was quite a fan of the ending. It's a very downer ending. But I kind of like movies like that. Maybe I'm a nihilist. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to apologize. So it is a very accessible movie. It's got good effects. It's got a few very, very effective scenes. I think that the most effective things in this movie are the stuff with Riley. I really, really do. That kid, his plight, really, really effective. 2 scenes with him where I'm just genuinely like, oh my God, you poor kid. Like, you poor kid. But aside from that, guys, it's at its core, it's something that we've seen a lot before. With possession movies, with ghost movies, we've seen a lot of it before. It's done well here, but I haven't understood people singing the praises of this being one of the most nerve-wracking, pulse-pounding movies they've seen. I've seen some of these reviews, and I'm just like, okay. It was part of the reason why I wanted to check the movie out so much, because although they do all of this stuff well, it's not original. It's nothing new. It is what it is. It's pretty good. It's handled pretty well, but it doesn't bring a ton of new ideas to the table. So, in one respect, it is a very well made, well acted, well shot, well put together movie with some effective sequences. Absolutely. With a tight story, with a good script, all of that's true. But I think it's just like good. Like none of it's like, oh my God, that's fantastic. It's just good. And I'm still striving for great. Like I really want to see an original horror movie. It's been a while. I would say X was probably the last one that really just blew me away. I would give Talk to Me 3.5 out of 5 stars. It is a very well-made movie, and it's above average. It's pretty good, and I'm happy to see it performing well and resonating with audiences. But at some point, these A24 fanboys have got to calm down. I'm not calling some of you out by name, but I'm calling some of you out vaguely here. I'm going to give 5 stars to every A24 horror movie that comes out because I'm so edgy and they're so elevated and it makes me so smart and I'm such a hipster and I'm cool, right? Stop. No. Not every movie they put out is 5 stars. And no matter how much of a boner you have for A24, that doesn't mean that everything they put out is absolutely fantastic. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times, they're just a distributor. They don't actually make the movie. They just see a movie and go, wow, we like that. We're going to put some money behind it. And, marketing, blah, 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 blah. It's okay every now and then to say, yeah, it was pretty good. A24 is not going to come to your house and take all the movies of theirs you own and go online and say you're not a real fan. Like, calm down. Seriously. God. So, yeah, pretty decent movie. Good time overall. I think you guys should check it out. But let me know what you thought of Talk to Me down below in the comments section. Please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And this is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I am pulling out.